I'm in northern Wisconsin in the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest. At roughly 1.5 million acres of public land, it is absolutely enormous. Just last week, I tested out my brand new off-road cabin, which is a little camper designed to be pulled behind my four-wheeler. After riding out a thunderstorm with some significant rainfall, as well as getting a pretty rough injury inside the cabin, a few changes to the camper needed to be made, and I'll definitely show you those later on in the adventure. I'm making my way into a series of small forest trails in the Marengo River Valley. Last winter, I camped out right next to the river itself. But my goal today is to reach a small wilderness lake tucked away up on the ridgeline. I was really hoping to have my dog Ellie out with me on this adventure. However, the special seat that I ordered for her did not arrive before this trip, but I am planning to install it before the end of this video and giving her her first ride on the four-wheeler, so make sure you stick around to the end for that. Getting thick back here. I want to check the map and see how close we are to this lake. Oh my gosh, and the flies are just terrible too. I think I gotta throw on my jacket. This will at least protect me from getting bit while we ride here, because I gotta go pretty slow. There's just so many trees down in the middle of the path, and this is a new camper. Oh wow, so we actually missed the trail to the lake. Somehow got off on this other one. So we got to find a way to turn this thing around and try to head back up towards that lake right there. Oh, that's a big one. I eventually found a spot where I could turn this whole train around. And then began to make my way back towards the supposed junction where the trail to the lake is supposed to be. Well, that's our trail right there. Or at least what used to be a trail. That's too much even for this setup. It's a shame. I bet you we could hike to that lake, and I might do that later to try to do some fishing. Either that or we'll fish the nearby river, but definitely not gonna camp down there. So I think we better continue on and find a spot further up on another trail. I decided to make my way down from the ridgeline and onto a trail that runs parallel to the river. It's the trail that I camped off of last winter. It seemed like it'd be a good spot to set up camp again.
is it thick. I just cannot seem to catch a break with these trails. Holy cow. I'm down by the river now. I just need a place to camp. This trail's too thick to continue on for much further. I really don't want to wreck my cabin on its second outing. My old camp is just beyond this brush right here. Well, it looks like I cracked my roof. One spot over here on the corner. I think I can repair that without having to replace all the panels. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, we got big problems. The axle broke, which, oh, that's a huge shame. Oh my word. One of my wheels is completely crooked. Man. I think what that sadly means is that the hub for these wheels and the bearing is just not strong enough to be taking on the kind of terrain that I'm taking on here. You know, this trailer is made for doing work. It's a utility trailer for around your property. Putting a cabin on top of it was definitely an experiment, and we can see that yeah, it's just not working out. But now I got a decision to make. Do I risk camping out in this thing and damaging that wheel further? The problem is that the way I set this thing up, the weight of the trailer will continue to be resting on those wheels. I have a jack in the front and a jack on the back here at the tongue, but the majority of the weight will be resting on those tires, and if it were to break further and I can't get it out of here, that's a real problem.
Now, before we continue, I just want to mention that the trailer that I got from Northwoods Fabrication is a very high quality, heavy duty trailer. It's just clear to me now that it's not made for the type of terrain that I want to take the cabin in, and that I'm going to need a very specialized trailer that's built for hardcore off-road terrain. I am extremely grateful to say that I've already found the trailer that I need. I'll share more about that later in the video. And as for my Northwoods trailer here, I'm going to get it repaired so that I can use it for all the work that needs to be done around our family cabin up north in Minnesota.
Well, unfortunately, after thinking about it, I think I got to get this thing out of here and get it back on the trailer. I just would hate for that wheel to break anymore and have this whole thing be stranded out here.
So I'm gonna have to try to limp this thing out of the woods through that thick trail again and get it back to the trailer. Now, before we do that, and before I show you some of the major upgrades that I've done to this cabin, I gotta thank our video sponsor, Brooklyn Bedding. You guys, it's sponsors like this that really help this channel and help me to solve problems like what we're facing here with the trailer. Now, did you know that you spend about a third of your life sleeping? And let me tell you, with a toddler
trailer, a baby, and spending a day of the week out here in the wild, I have to make that time count. I'm usually up at 4 a.m. packing the truck, driving 4 hours north, and the rest of the time at home with these two kiddos is beautifully chaotic. And so with all of that, Riley and I recently decided to upgrade to a king size bed once and for all, and we have been loving it. We decided to go with the Aurora Cloud, and man, setting this thing up was so easy. All you have to do is take it out of the box, unroll it, and watch it come to life. No tools, no hassle, very simple.
This is amazing.
First impressions from the family were stellar. Riley loved it, little Autumn baby was all smiles, and of course, Olivia climbed right up and onto it as if it were hers. And you can tell it's designed with real quality in mind. It's soft where you want it to be, it's got that support where you need it as well, and man, I've just been getting the best sleep. What I've really noticed is that when I go to bed, I close my eyes and I don't open them again till I have to wake up, and that's been a huge change. And all the aches and pains that I acquire out on the trail seem to fade away as well. And of course, with a growing family, we needed the king size to be able to have all the kids pile in when they need to. Brooklyn Bedding ships for free right to your front door, and every mattress comes with a 120-night sleep trial. And it also comes with a limited lifetime warranty, so you can try it out completely risk-free. So if you want to get the best sleep of your life, visit brooklynbedding.com/tinycabin and use my code tinycabin to get 30% off your order. And if you do pick one up, you will help support the channel. Just let them know that we sent you in the post-purchase survey.
Thank you once again to Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring this video. Now let me show you some of the updates to this cabin.
First and foremost, as you can see, I extended the roof. I've got a nice overhang here. It also extends out over the back of the cabin as well, and the sides, so that's going to give this thing so much more rain protection. I also coated the exterior walls with this clear waterproofing solution, so they are very protected now against any sort of water damage. I did a bunch of silicone work sealing up cracks along the frame of the cabin, but probably the biggest thing that I added is this undercarriage protection right here. So not only did I put a piece of wood down, but then I put a little piece of roofing material on it as well, and then sealed up all of these cracks. So now any sort of water that gets sprayed up underneath it is going to shed right off. And then with the overhang now, I was easily able to add the hooks for our lanterns. And man, they look great. I'm really bummed that I'm not going to get to see them all lit up tonight, but soon enough. And then lastly, you can see that I did add the hole for our wood stove pipe. So it's all ready to go for winter. In fact, it's supposed to get down to 50 degrees tomorrow morning. I was actually gonna give it its first burn, but I guess that's gonna have to wait for later. Ooh, and actually I can't forget this. I did round out the piece of metal that the wood stove sits on. So now there's no way it's gonna cut me. I know this still comes to a point. I'm gonna deal with that probably later, but at least for now, the metal is way offset. And so as you can see, the cabin itself is better than ever. It's fully dialed in, it seems. And that's what makes this whole deal with the trailer all the more disappointing. As many of you know, I've been kind of going through it for the last couple of months, it seems. Issue after issue just seems to be popping up, and something that I've learned through it is you really have no choice but to kind of embrace those challenges. It's very discouraging at times. It's disappointing, especially, you know, when you've put so much work into something like I have with this cabin, but I really think how we react to hardship and trials matters. And at the end of the day, I've got a great life, I've got a great family. I'm fortunate to have such a cool camper and cabin, and to have an ATV to be able to take it out into the woods. Something like this axle, I'll figure it out, and we'll get out here into the woods again. And so I think with that, it's gonna be time to get this thing out of the woods and back to the truck.
And so I dragged it through the thick brush one more time and eventually made it back out to the main gravel road where I parked my trailer. And so before we wrap things up, I want to bring you back home to Minnesota and show you exactly what we're going to do with this cabin moving forward.
All right, guys, so we are back at the ranch, and I am really excited to share with you the solution that I found to our problem here. You know, this cabin really needs a specialty trailer, something that can handle true off-road terrain. You know, what I learned from my overlanding adventure a couple weeks back was that suspension really makes a huge difference. When you're out on a side-by-side or even on an ATV like this, it's that suspension which allows you not only to have a stable, steady ride, but it also protects the nuts and bolts of whatever vehicle you're in. And in this case, it's the cabin. And so we need something that's got some good suspension that will allow it to ride a lot steadier to preserve the cabin and keep us safe as well. And so I did a little bit of digging and I found this company called Advanced Off-Road Trailers. And this trailer that they have created is an absolute beast. Now, I'm not gonna go into all the details of it here. We'll do that once I get the trailer, install the cabin on it, and take it out into the field again. But essentially, as you can see here, this thing is built to be beat up. Like, it's encouraged to take this thing on the craziest terrain possible. And while I'm not gonna be trying to wreck this cabin again, I'm really happy to know that we're gonna have a foundation that's gonna allow us to really take this thing where we wanna go, whether it's through a forest trail like we were on today or on some crazy mountain trails. That is my goal in the future. Another thing that I love about this trailer is it already comes with a ski conversion kit. So all you have to really do is swap these skis on in the wintertime and you're ready to go. And that's gonna be huge with this cabin because the whole idea with it was to be able to use it all year round. And so I'm really excited for this trailer to arrive. It's gonna be a few weeks that we're gonna have to wait, but we'll get it in time to do some awesome adventures here still in the late summer and fall, and then we'll have it all winter long, which is what I am really excited for. Now, I did just get something shipped to me which will allow Ellie girl to ride along with me on the four-wheeler. At least I hope and pray she takes to it. So let's go install that now, and maybe we can see if she's into it. All right, so what we got here is an ATV seat for a dog. What you do is you mount it onto the back here, and there is a little pad, and what that's gonna allow Ellie to do is ride right behind me. It's a little smaller than the one that I have for the snowmobile that I built myself, so I'm a little nervous about it, but we will see if she likes it.
Installing this thing is as simple as just adding these fasteners to a few different points on the frame. That's going to keep these guardrails up to keep Ellie secure in there. And then the next step is to attach her seat, which is a very nice waterproof pad. And that just attaches to the frame in a few different areas with Velcro.
Well, this is a good sign. She is lying down and relaxing. Now, once I start this thing up, she might get a little freaked out. I really hope not. You know, in her older age here, she's just getting a little more skittish to things. A couple of years ago, you could throw her on this and she wouldn't care at all. But she might get a little nervous, so we'll see. But we might as well take it for a little test cruise and find out. So far, so good. All right, let's go for a little cruise. Good job. Yeah. Well, I think on that note, I'm going to wrap up this video. You know, life is a roller coaster. You kind of have these setbacks and then you figure things out, like our new trailer. I'm really looking forward to that. And then you get that silver lining, just that like beam of sunshine, and seeing Ellie up there riding along, peaceful and happy as can be. That made it all worthwhile. I'm so happy that she's going to be able to join us in that cabin cabin in the future. And man, it's just awesome. So I just want to give a special shout out to our patrons as well as our sponsors like Brooklyn Bedding. You guys really are the reason that I can look at a problem like this and be optimistic that I'll be able to fix it. Just having that extra little bit of cash coming in to be able to solve these problems or put gas in the truck or in the ATV and stuff like that, it really makes a difference, and it makes it where I'm able to come out and do these videos for you guys on a weekly basis. So honestly, I'm very grateful for that. But with that being said, I'm grateful to all of you who watch this channel. I mean, all of you collectively are the reason that we're able to do this together. And I'm just so grateful, because this is a beautiful life, and I love sharing this beautiful world with you guys as well. So thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. But now I got to get this thing parked and get home for dinner with the family. I'll see you guys next week, probably out on the boat cabin with Ellie. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. We'll see you then. God bless.